we thought we'd get together a little bit and talk about some of political mysteries, following the money, using one of my favorite tools, the PDC, which is the Public Disclosure Commission. It's our campaign finance transparency system to understand the county charter amendments. So with that, I will stop sharing and turn it over to Shannon and Nancy. What questions do you have about how the PDC and the county charter amendments fit together?
Well, first, Melissa, thanks for hanging out with us on a Wednesday night and like being super nerds with us and showing us how this PDC thing you keep talking about works. Yeah, I don't know. I think Nancy and I, we really care about these charter amendments, and we realized that there was this opposition to it. And so we were just kind of wondering, well, where is that coming from? I don't know. What do you think, Nancy?
Yeah, I just can't. And I've done a lot of research. Like, I'm a charter amendment nerd. Officially, I think I get a badge next week. And I can't imagine who's not for this. It's a mystery to me.
Awesome. So let me share my screen here. Shannon, if you can get this up on the stream, let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Awesome. So if you go to pdc.wa.gov on the main page and hit browse, you'll get this pop-up. And what we want to look at is ballot measures and political committees. And I went ahead and pulled those up just so we don't have to wait at all. There's a bunch of different kinds of committees, but because these are charter amendments, they're local initiatives. And the folks who are opposing this have named their committee Save Our Sheriff. And you can say they've raised a reasonable amount of money and already pushed a lot of that money out the door. So if we click into this, it will show us that here's their treasurer and how to get a hold of their treasurer, and the basic information about it. If you click on the C1 report, that's their filing information, and that'll take you into a screen that looks like this and tell you who the officers are. A little bit of Google searching, we won't do that now, but we'll tell you that Bob, Alan, and Mike are all part of the King County Police Officers Guild. Bob is the president of the King County Police Officers Guild, in fact. And then the next thing that's interesting is to look into the contributions and the expenditures. So let's look here at contributions.
So the total contributions are how much? 207,000?
Yeah. And this picture right here tells you that the majority, this green area, was contributed by unions. So 165,000 came from the King County Police Officers Guild. The American Police Officers Guild kicked in 10,000. The Seattle Police Guild kicked in 10,000. And then a number of other groups, which it was interesting to me to see that Everett and even Bellingham police view this as being in their interest and wanting to oppose these common sense changes to our county charter.
Did you say that the King County Police Officers Guild, but the two people or three people that you mentioned were on the board of Save Our Sheriff are members of the King County Police?
So they have overlapping interests. But they created this committee so that they could also go collect money from other folks. And Googling some of these names, you'll see that a number like Stancio is the spokesman for the sheriff's office. So definitely a lot of connections to that community.
Wow.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is interesting then is to go look at the expenditure. So what are they spending all of that money on? Well, it looks like their money is all moving through a political consulting group called the Minute Group, but it's going to Comcast, $80,000 for TV ads that started a week ago, streaming TV ads that started 2 weeks ago, $10,000 to make that ad, and then 2,000 yard signs.
Wow. I don't have a TV or live where there's yards, so I haven't seen any of this. Have you all?
I haven't, but my guess is that, generally speaking, this is targeting an older demographic. And then even this TV streaming is going to some of the paid streaming services, usually. Not always, but usually.
Wow. I've seen one yard sign, and I live in Burien. So,
woohoo! One of them, a cool-looking yard sign. I mean, they spent so much money on it; it better be a cool-looking yard sign.
No, well, I've done a lot of research, and I don't agree with them, so I don't think it's cool at all.
Yeah. So the other thing that I thought was really interesting is if these basic reports aren't enough for what you're looking for, there's actually an option here within the PDC to do open data, which lets you just query their database. And so what I was curious about is looking at what has the King County Police Officers Guild spent their money on previously. So this is searching on the contributor name, and where the contributor name is the Police Officers Guild. And this is the data for the last, goes back to 2009. So the last 11 years, this is where they have deployed their political money. And you can see 2014, 12, they put $20,000 each year into some work, but that is dwarfed by the amount that they are putting into defeating these charter amendments. So they're spending $165,000, basically more than they've spent in the last 11 years combined to defeat these charter amendments.
Whoa.
And so I think it's pretty important to them that they really are concerned about how these amendments would impact the way they work right now. So the last thing that I wanted to show you is Charter for Justice is the group of people who are supporting the charter amendments. And this list includes 6 of our county council members, ACLU People Power Police Accountability Working Group, Fuse Washington, Not This Time, League of Women Voters, YWCA, as well as a number of Democratic organizations. And so that's really a broad group. And if we look in the PDC, you'll see that that group has spent, I think, a few $1,000s on this race. So hasn't put as much money into it, but is a broader coalition of people who are really diving into this race. So I'm curious, any other questions about following the money for what's happening with this these charter amendments?
I don't know. That just blows my mind that they're spending that much money on this. I mean, and then, yeah, just that was really interesting to see, you know, comparing to past times. It's like, is that a normal thing for them to spend, you know, $150K, $165K at a time? And I don't know, I guess to me that just, it's kind of, wow, okay. I mean, what about these amendments are they so like not wanting them to pass that they're willing to put that much money into it?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. And I'm not sure that I've seen that really well explored in the media yet. So hopefully that's something that gets looked at more carefully. Maybe we should write a letter to the editor.
Ooh, good idea.
Maybe that's our next project.
Okay. We haven't had much luck with letter to the editors. Maybe they're a better writer than us.
Maybe. So any other outstanding mysteries related to this that you guys want to talk about tonight?
I don't know. That one's like a doozy. I think I need to wrap my head around that.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to, I mean, it just brings up more mysteries, but like, yeah. So I think my head is full.
Excellent. Well, for anybody who's watching this, appreciate you taking the time to follow the money with us. And we'll drop some resources into the comments so that you can look into this on your own. And with that, Shannon, I think we're done. Can you wrap us up?
Yep. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.